what we want to do now is call upon the Navy base, our de facto guest of honor, if you will. And to address that will be Commander Groton Stronach. He was born and raised in Boston, and he enlisted in the Navy in 1982 and entered the submarine force as a torpedo man. That's when he entered in. He served various at-sea assignments aboard the USS Trepang, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, USS George C. Marshall, and USS Key West, and advanced to the rank of Chief Petty Officer. Commissioned through the Limited Duty Officer Program in 1994, he served in numerous at-sea and ashore assignments. Prior to his assuming his current duties, he most recently served as the Executive Officer aboard the USS Emory S. Land in Diego Garcia. I think that's in the Indian Ocean somewhere, but let him fill it in. Great. Kurt? Okay, Kurt.
So Al stole my training. I was going to come up here and move my place card because the other two guys forgot. But good morning, Mayor Galbraith, State Rep Scott. I saw Andre Baumgartner just come in. How are you? We won't give you a tardy pass today. Members and friends of the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, Groton Business Association, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a pleasure to be with you, and I really mean it. Captain Paul Whitescarver, the 51st Commanding Officer for the submarine base, is unable to attend due to travel schedules. He's actually let out our secret. He's at a promotion board in Millington, Tennessee, and he sends his best. The captain, just like a mayor, he gets to go to the lunches. He gets to go with the elected officials. He goes to evening events with community leaders. He shakes hands. He poses for pictures. I think I've even seen him kiss a baby or two. Me, I'm like the vice mayor. Oops, if everybody can hear me. I'm like the vice mayor, chained to my desk, keeping sailors and family support as well as the submarine movements on time, well-oiled, and running smoothly. So getting a chance to put on my whites, leave my desk, and join you today for breakfast is really enjoyable. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Al for the warm introduction. Yes, it's true, 1982 I did come in. I'm at my 34-year point, and I love a bunch of Groton is my saying. So I've been here several times. And then, you know, I can't speak enough about Mayor Galbraith, Al, Susan Bailey, Groton Business Association, along with the Greater Mystic Chamber, for the entire Southeast Connecticut community for working so hard on Subbase to mark this special year. Anybody not know what this special year is? I think it's not possible with Mayor at the helm. So as the mayor highlighted, 2016 marks the centennial of Subbase and Naval Submarine School. 100 years ago, June 21st, 1916, Commander Yates Sterling Jr. was ordered to assume command of the submarine base, the submarine flotilla, and the submarine school, which was a Navy yard, a depot, a coaling station here in Groton. Our nation's and Navy's first permanent continental submarine base. Connecticut and its citizens embraced those submarine sailors and submarines then, as they do today. It's truly extraordinary that so many citizens, businesses, industries, communities, and their leaders throughout the state have come together behind Connecticut's sub-century. The many wonderful events planned and in the planning for the celebration is inspiring. We at Subbase are honored and humbled. And since this is a business update, rest assured, tourist industry is on the increase in the area. The historic ship Nautilus and Submarine Force Museum has seen an increase in the patron numbers from this time last year. I can only imagine what this summer is going to bring. Well, to continue with the business theme, I'm proud to report that the Subbase is strong. A nice 1982, I'll just go back to that reference point. I was here in 82. I was the weapons officer during the four-letter word that we'll talk about later, I'm sure. And we are doing much better than we were then. Subbase is the only operational base left in New England, if you weren't aware of that. Our primary reason for existence is simple and straightforward. We remain focused on home porting 15 attack submarines and making those submarines available to go on deployment, and to also train through the Naval Submarine School and the Submarine Center for Excellence the future submariners that will serve in our Navy. We've grown a bit over the last 100 years. We currently occupy 680 acres with more than 160 major facilities and 15 home-ported submarines. We now straddle the communities of Groton and Ledyard along the Thames River. But we continue to strive to provide quality services, facilities, support to our Navy's fleet, fighter, and families. Almost every submariner in today's Navy will be stationed at some base for training. And so I actually learned something today. So I share something with Ken. If you notice what his tie to Groton was, that every drug that they use in Pfizer comes through Groton for testing. So we also take that claim at the sub base to say that every sailor that serves on a submarine worldwide comes through Groton. That's how important our sub base is. A tour of duty may follow in one of the fast attack submarines for one of those sub-schoolers, or one of the pre-commissioning crews at the new submarine under construction at General Dynamics Electric Boat Shipyard. And if I may note, according to the latest economic impact study released last year, with the new Navy construction design work at EB, along with the military construction contracts, payroll at the base, flow of more than $7 billion, that's billion with a B, into Southeast Connecticut economy. That's quite a significant rise from just a couple years ago based on the new submarines coming in. In addition to our submarine sub-base, it is also home to such major tenant commands and activities as Sub-Base Squadron 4, Submarine Squadron 12, Submarine Learning Center, Naval Submarine School, Naval Submarine Medical Research Laboratory, Naval Undersea Medical Institute. And last year, the Undersea Warfighting Development Center established its home here in Groton, bringing back a flag officer to Southeast Connecticut. Rear Admiral Jeff Trussler leads the center for its efforts to oversee the training, assessment, tactical development, analysis of the U.S. Navy's undersea warfighting capabilities. Our sub-base's home has been undergoing some transformation, renovation, and updating in recent years, in part due to the generosity of Connecticut citizens like yourself. Connecticut's affinity with our naval heritage has its roots in the base origin. Even the land that the core of sub-base sits was donated from the state to the Navy after the Civil War. In 2007, the state created the Office of Military Affairs and established a $40 million bonding authority set aside to support infrastructure improvements on sub-base. This past December, the executive director of the Office of Military Affairs, Mr. Bob Ross, joined the Assistant Secretary of Navy for Energy, Installations, Environment, Dennis V. McGinn, in cutting a ribbon at Subbase's new diver support facility, or what like we like to call it, the dive locker. This state-of-the-art dive locker is significantly contributing to the ongoing efforts for the base's divers to conduct underwater repairs and maintenance and service the home-ported submarines. The ribbon cutting highlighted Connecticut's continuing effort in cooperation with the Navy in completing a much larger federal investments to enhance the sub-base infrastructure. Including a $4.65 million dive locker, the state of Connecticut has invested approximately $14 million in sub-base since 2009. Other major infrastructure improvements have included modernizing a boiler at the sub-base's power plant to ensure effective and efficient power and energy supply. Constructing a culinary training center at the base galley consisting of a full-scale, functioning replica of a galley found on a Virginia-class submarine, and building an addition to the base's Nimitz Hall to house the new high-tech submarine bridge navigation simulator, which trains the crews of the submarine navigation. At the December event, Mr. Ross also delivered to the Secretary McGinn the offer to the next two proposed projects that the state is willing to fund. The first project will enhance and mitigate encroachment of sub-base's boundaries where commercial railroad bisects the base. The $1.2 million undertaking will replace 4,500 square feet of fencing and install virtual gates using lasers, infrastructure, detectors, and motion sensors. The second project will provide engineering and design to support the future construction of the sub-base microgrid. The $1.1 million undertaking will complement our Navy's smart energy, smart security goals by facilitating power diversification, physical security, and community collaboration. A sub-base microgrid will transform the existing electrical system into a more intelligent, flexible, and robust system. Through such microgrid, the sub-base will benefit not only from automated data collecting, precise peak demand control, but also the ability to seamlessly disconnect from the utility grid and effectively and efficiently dispatch power generation to our mission-critical loads, which number one would be the 15 submarines. This is all vital to the sub-base, as we clearly recognize in New England, energy is not inexpensive. And energy initiatives and conservation continues to be our focus. Some of our energy initiatives that I can speak of about include a utility energy service contract at sub-base, which is in the final stages of awarding through the electrical provider, Groton Utilities. This project embraces 8 initiatives from water and energy conservation and spans 79 facilities on base. Initiatives ranging from installing more efficient lighting to decentralization of the heating in some of our older barracks. Additionally, there are multiple special projects planned or underway to improve energy efficiency and energy conservation at sub-base. 6 of our major buildings are currently undergoing retro commissioning, and a base-wide exterior LED upgrade is nearing completion. Through completed projects already, the sub-base has reduced its total energy consumption by 45% since 2003. But the Secretary of the Navy is never satisfied with that, so we have an additional challenge to save 25% more from our 2010 baseline by 2025. So that'd be a tough one. I won't be the XO by then. Outside the base fence line, the Navy's public-private venture housing partners, Balfour Beatty, partnered with Solar City to complete nearly 800 rooftop installations in March. Those who drive Route 12 over by near the base would have noticed the panels on the roofs in the housing areas. Solar City will maintain those solar panels, and BBC will purchase the power they produce at a discount, generating savings for the public-private venture. BBC has also leased space for ground-mounted solar array at several open spaces in housing area. The land was recently cleared, and the arrays, which are under construction, should be complete by the end of the calendar year. It's anticipated that they will produce 6 to 8 megawatts of electrical power for the leasee to sell to the lease fee, for the leasee to sell, and the lease fees will be used to improve services supporting the BBC housing. So I really get out of the office, and that is true. I could go on and on forever, but those are some of the big highlighted projects that we have going on that you can see. The biggest one on the ground array I just wanted to mention, everybody's screaming about us cutting down a few trees here or there. That's actually not us, that's the partner. So the Navy didn't decide to like deforest, and we haven't cut down a whole lot of trees, but that's in preparation for the 6 to 8 megawatts, and that's really important. Southeast Connecticut still remains the submarine capital of the world, and the sub-base is the home of the submarine force. The true heart of our base and our tenant commands is our people, your neighbors, some 6,500 active duty and reserve sailors, 2,300 civilian employees and contractors, and their families, who through their daily sacrifice and service contribute so much to our Navy, community, and nation. I couldn't be happier and more honored to have led them, the sub-base, during the very special year of the Centennial Submarine Celebration. Thank you very much.